I gotta say, by the way, so the last show I did, and like, God help me if I can't do another show for another couple months, because the last live show I did, I came back from the tour and the tour was great. And then last Tuesday, I had a show at this, it was like a charity show at this cancer center. And usually it's pretty full. It seats about 50 people and like they come out. It's a very nice show for the residents, except because people were already scared, a lot of people weren't coming out because it was already at the point where like they're the most susceptible. And so I get there and I know the host and I see the host in the hallway and I go, "Hey man, how are they?" And he goes, "Well, their names are Gina, Ed, Rosie." And like he just named five people. And I was like, "Oh, fuck." And so it was literally five people. And that's the last show. That's the last like live show I did.
Is it harder to do a show with five? We talked about how like Trevor Noah and
so much harder. So much harder. It's when people say like, "Oh, for like a big show, oh, are you nervous? You doing a theater of 400 people, you nervous?" I'm like, "No, that's the easiest show I'll do."
Huh.
The tough show is when there's five people. Because here's the thing. If one person doesn't find you funny, that's 20% of the fucking crowd. So, and like each person is an individual.
I used to feel that way about tests with 4 questions. Like, if I don't know one thing, I'm fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one thing you get a bad grade, 2 things you fail.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. Yeah, imagine if like 2 of the people were a married couple. If they have a shared experience that means that renders a joke not funny to them, suddenly you've got 40% of the crowd not laughing.
Yeah. Huh.
They were sweethearts, but man, that was rough. We actually, with the live stream, we played to more people than that show. Like in the live chat.
Feedback, right?
So no, that's what we do. Yeah. That's what we do. We have same thing we're doing right now. What we do is we have 3 hosts. So it's myself, Ben Glebe, and Chris Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
We will have like a special guest. So that could be a famous comedian or it could be just a famous person. And then we'll have 3 comedians that'll come in and leave. And then we'll have 10 audience members. We use Zoom so that we can accommodate, 20 windows.
Oh, okay.
And
how much does it cost? Is that like a premium version of that?
No, Zoom is, I think Zoom was like $20 or something. It's hardly anything.
What's the video audio quality like?
It's decent. It's not this, but also people don't have setups at their home. Like what I'm doing now, when we were like sound checking before the show and you were like, "No, move the mic closer," and blah, blah, blah. Like this is probably way better than I've sounded on any of those live streams because most people are just on their phone.
Yeah, because we do this weekly or this monthly hangout with our fans, or they sign up on Patreon and they pay, I think, $50 a month. And then we do a whole get together and we do it for 4 hours to accommodate the fact that sometimes we reach our room limit, which is like a dozen or 15 or something like that. And but it would be nice to be in a service where like
dude, Zoom can do like 200 people, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I very much recommend it.
I wouldn't want that.
No. I mean, you can cut it off whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah, if you're performing, it's different because like they're just like, hey, it'd be interesting to like be. If they try to heckle you, you're just like, hang up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did VR shows for years, and it was so funny because like someone would come in and just like yell something, and then we had a moderator, and that person would be out before the sentence finished. Yeah. Like I couldn't even have "What did you say, man?" Like I couldn't even have that. It was just like, well, that person dressed as a dinosaur is gone. Like it would just be, they would just be kicked. And
nobody
on this
ever
though,
came in there beating it or anything.
I mean, in VR, sure, I'm sure they were doing stuff like that.
On camera.
Oh, on camera? No. But we also, you can't come on camera unless you buy a ticket.
We used to
you'd have to pay. You'd have to pay
Xbox
$10.
Live. On Xbox Live, you can play Uno, and you have your face cam. Like even on I had the webcam for the Xbox Live, so me and my friends were all looking at each other playing Uno, and I don't remember how many people you can have in a room, but it seemed like a real hangout for degenerates because like it'd be like a new window would pop in and it would buffer for a second, and then boop, dude jerking off. And you're just like, come on, we're playing Uno.
You're like, this is actual roulette, not chat roulette. This is just regular roulette. I'm sure there are terrible degenerates, but at the same time, tickets to this do cost money. So I'm at least hoping that, we don't run into that. And if we do, like, they're not just going to pop in because, people come in before we start. We tend to talk to them, and they seem to be real sweethearts. And the fact of the matter is, like my fans are nerds just like me. So like anyone who finds me funny is probably a nerd because I'm a nerd. You know, you guys have some fucking monsters who watch this show, but for the most part, I have some real sweet kids.
I have a question. So I've been watching. I'm bad with names. Nikki Glazer. Does that sound right?
Nikki's super funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. She was saying that comedians don't like specials. That she doesn't like watching people's specials. She almost feels like it's a chore, like doing homework. So she's educated on someone's special. Do you feel like that?
I think it depends on whose. Like, definitely when Chappelle's special came out, I was like, okay, I have to watch this. This is in the zeitgeist, and I would enjoy it. But usually the way I watch a special, because I don't have a ton of time to like sit there and watch it, I'll play the audio in my car while I'm driving, so I can just kind of catch up on what someone's doing. But there are so many specials out now that it's part of why it feels like a chore is you'll never catch up.
You don't feel obligated, like you know, in case you bump into this person to have seen their special.
No, I mean, I try, like one of my close friends, she's like a little sister to me. I love her to death. Taylor Tomlinson, brilliantly talented. Her Netflix special dropped March 3rd. It is getting critical acclaim. People love it. This is going to change her career, assuming, you know, the world still exists in a month. But I have not seen the special in its completion yet because I've been running around with the live stream thing. I was touring before that. I've seen a bunch of clips from it, and I would love to sit there and watch the whole thing. And I have seen the material before, so it's not like I'm going to be surprised by anything because I saw her prep for it. But like, this is one of my close friends, and I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. It's just something that, like, you know, some people will sit there and watch hours and hours of comedy, and I'd rather write.
Okay. And in the other way, you're not offended at all if a comedian hasn't seen your stuff?
No, not at all. I mean, I kid around with some of my friends sometimes where, like, one of my buddies we were on tour with was like, hey, you should give me a copy of your book so I can read it. I was like, the one that's been out for a year? You want a copy of that one? You haven't read the one that's been out for a year? But at the same time, like, I'm just giving them shit. And I'm almost surprised when my friends watch my stuff because it's kind of them and I appreciate it, but it's not for them. Like, they're not my demo.
I used to make 1 or 2 YouTube videos every single day. And I had mixed feelings on watching other people's YouTube videos because sometimes I'd want to be abreast of what's happening in the community and such. Other times it'd be like, after I watch a couple of other people's videos, every idea I have for a video is now stolen or taken or like it almost cuts into my own inspiration because it's
but at the same time, I mean, it can, on one hand, it can be like, all right, I shouldn't talk about this. On the other hand, you can also see what people are talking about and try not to. Like, one of the things we tell the people on the stream is like, hey, don't do 5 minutes on coronavirus. Everyone is. Like, just do your set. You know, people want to forget about this right now. So it does help to be aware of what's going on. But at the same time, like, you also don't want to have, you know, cryptomnesia, like we talked about before. So, you know, watch it as entertainment. But I always recommend comedians when they're starting out, look, once you find your voice, do what you want. But when you're on your way to finding your voice, watch as much as you can. And don't just watch good comedy, watch bad comedy and figure out why you don't like it. So that way you can avoid being that.
That's neat.
It's inspiration for not being shitty.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. My earbuds or AirPods or whatever. My earbuds. My basketball playing dog is running out of battery. So just a heads up.
Roger that.